Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of INLANDIA Literary Journeys. I'm Orlando Ramirez, editor of La Prensa. This is John Bender, Metro editor for the Press Enterprise. Today we have Frances McConnel and Lucia Galloway here from the
Claremont Fourth Sundays reading.
Claremont Fourth Sundays
At
reading.
the public library.
At the public library. But however, you're telling us this time, this next Sunday, it's not going to be at the public library. What's going on?
To the end of the year, it'll be at the Claremont Forum, which is a bookstore in the packing house, the old packing house. Does he call it the Thoreau bookstore still or not?
I think it's just, you can just call it the Forum Library Bookshop in the packing house in the West Village.
The West Village is on the west side of Indian Hill, and it's a lovely venue, but they're the library is remodeling with the help of money from Friends of the Claremont Library, the children's section. So now the children's section has been moved into the meeting hall. So we won't have it till probably the end of the year.
And who will be there giving the reading?
We have
Gerald Laughlin and Marcin Del Clements. Marcin is a local poet and used to be the head of the series, and she handed it over to Frances and I. And Gerald Laughlin is from Cal State
Long Beach. Yeah. And Marcy's she's in a little music group, the Claremont Pipers, and she's bringing them to play. So we usually start at 2, but they're going to start playing at 1:45.
People should get there early.
Yeah.
And this series has gone on since 2001?
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you get some poets from all over, Los Angeles. I even saw a poet from Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah, Sharon came from.
And how do you pick the poets?
Well, our philosophy is that we want to offer something to the community, a free offering of poetry, and so we try to have a good mix of local people who don't have particularly long and distinguished reputations, but who are very engaged with poetry, and also people from further afield, and any really famous person that we can persuade to come and read for us.
Or somebody who's visiting sometimes.
Yes.
Who are the biggest names you've had?
Well, let's see.
One is a local person, B.H. Fairchild.
Yes.
And Robert Mezzi, who's local too.
And then Ray Armentrout, who won the Pulitzer Prize a few years ago, and a real comer, Jericho Brown, who was teaching in San Diego when we connected with him, and then subsequently went to Emory University in Atlanta, but was persuaded to come back and read for us because he had promised. Yeah. So I think those are the biggest names that we've.
And he was on the reading committee for the Kingsley Tufts Award in Claremont, and we have the winners read for us once a year, every year. So we've done that for 5 years, is that right?
Yes, so those are all big names.
They're
also.
Big names.
Yes.
Well, Claremont has quite a history of excellent poets. You were the home of Virginia Adair.
That's right.
And her book, Anson the Melon.
And her new selected poems will probably come out next year. And Bob Mezzi and Nancy Ware, who are both friends of hers, have been editing it. Bob edited Anson the Melon too.
And they were the 2 readers last month.
Yes, they were. They read last month. And also we had Dick Barnes, who is no longer with us. And who else is the other famous? There's another famous poet, but I can't, my mind is slipping now. But we've had memory readings for them. And we've also, where several people will get up and read their favorite poems. For Virginia, we'll probably do that again.
Oh, memorial readings?
Memorial readings, right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Bert Myers, that's who I was unable to remember.
Well, one of the things about the Claremont area, of course, as John was referring to, is that it has a long tradition of supporting the literary arts, because of the universities and everything else that is there. But still, the community itself seems pretty active and engaged. Is this something that you find in your work there?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. And we get good audiences. We usually draw between 25, 35 people at a reading. One of the things we did to ensure that we had a good audience was to increase the number of poets who read each time from 1 to 2. So we have 2 featured poets, and that brings in more people. But it's a very a very reliable, loyal audience, new people, but also a good core of engaged people in the community, including people from the colleges, people who just love literature and culture.
And what I liked, I've been to the last few, is that the poets read a little bit, and then there's a break where you can have discussions with audience members or with the poets, and then the poets come back and read more, and then they stay and sign books or
And
stay
you
to
can
visit.
have refreshments during the break, which,
Right.
that's another thing that we really developed.
Yeah,
there.
we added that when we took over because we thought it would probably work pretty well, and it does. It's just a lot of work for us to get it all set up, but
Yeah.
it's worthwhile.
And you
we've
two
had-
are, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. I was just going to say, we've had poets from all the colleges, I think, pretty much, around, and not just the Claremont colleges, but University of Laverne, San Bernardino State, UC Riverside,
Cal Poly
Whittier,
Pomona.
Whittier, Tony
Whittier,
Barnstone.
Yeah, Pomona, right, we've had Pomona.
Yes,
So,
yes.
a lot of colleges.
Well, Nancy Ware, last month, she was from Cal Poly.
That's right, Cal Poly.
And Virginia Adair was a teacher there also.
Yes, that's right.
You both are poets as well.
That's right, yeah.
And do you read at the series, or?
Yes, we usually give ourselves that opportunity every couple of years, every few years, 3 or
Yeah.
4 years, we slot ourselves in.
And we have two other members. There's Karen Greenbaum Maya, and there's Genevieve Kaplan, and they have read too. And the people who run it before, been in the committee before, have read too as well.
Yeah, we four comprise the steering committee. We call ourselves a steering committee, and we're all poets.
So one last question. I know you're going to read for us in a little bit for another episode. If someone were to ask, why should I come to the Claremont Four Sundays reading, how would you invite them? What would you tell them? How would you entice them?
Well, I would say they're very, very stimulating readings, very exciting, really entertaining. I mean, people don't think of that, a poetry reading as entertaining, but they're always really entertaining, I think. And then you get to meet a lot of literary people. It started, in fact, because the librarian in 2000 was asked by the Friends of the Claremont Library, that's our mother organization, they really support us with money and a place to read and everything, what they could do for the community in the library. And the person who was the librarian at that time said that his clients had asked for more poetry. So then Olivia Ellis, who was on the committee, said, well, I'll do it. So I think there's a lot of appreciation of poetry around, and hearing it is so much better than just reading on the page. What would you say?
I agree, definitely. Some of the poets are really good performers. Now, you don't necessarily have to be really big into performance to have a successful reading, but there's a whole range of personal dynamics and projections that it always is entertaining and engaging, and people love it. People love it.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are back up again August 25th at the Forum Bookstore in Claremont's West Village, and that's 1:45 if you wish to hear Marcin Del Clemente's pipe band.
Yes.
And the poetry starts at 2, and Gerald Laughlin from Cal State Long Beach is the other featured reader.
Yeah, I believe it's a recorder ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, yeah, pipes. That's right, pipes.
What fun.
And Marcy has written work for them. They have actually composed work to her poems too, and I think they will be maybe playing some of those as well.
Okay.
That should be exciting.
Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
It's
us.
delightful.
For INLANDIA Literary Journeys, I'm John Bender, Press Enterprise Metro Editor. My co-host Orlando Ramirez, editor of La Prensa. And I want to thank Francis McConnell and Lucia Galloway for coming and joining us.